I looked upriver and saw a young boy waving at another who was downriver several hundred yards away. The puck finally arrived at its destination, and the second boy sent it back. When the puck eventually again crossed our path, I glanced at Josie, who couldn't help but smile. "Yeah, that's pretty cool," she conceded, pushing off the toe of one of her skates and gliding away. A lot of people hated winter with a passion. Others considered it their favorite season. Like me, Josie fell somewhere in the middle, and during the time she'd lived here, had developed strategies designed to help her cope with the cold and snow. But when her coping mechanisms failed to deliver the results she expected, or pushed her outside the boundaries of her comfort zone into situations out of her control, Josie turned, in a word, cranky. As a native of Georgia, Josie's skating as a kid had been confined to roller skates. But after several years as a local, she'd gotten good on ice skates, although she preferred to do her skating in the relative comfort of an ice skating rink, surrounded by heaters and hot chocolate. But this weekend, everyone was outside enjoying the expanded winter carnival the town council, led by my mother, had quickly put together to take full advantage of the see-through 6-inch sheet of glass. I skated over to my SUV that was parked a few feet away on the ice and grabbed my binoculars. Dozens of cars, trucks, and snowmobiles filled the inner bay, and at the far end, about a mile away, an ice fishing derby was in progress. At the other end of the bay, 4 makeshift hockey rinks had been set up, and a tournament was in progress. In between the 2 major organized events, people were practicing their double axels, playing broomball, drinking, and doing other assorted activities to help them take their minds off the cold. I lowered my binoculars and set them down on the front seat, then skated back to Josie, who was practicing small jumps. "Try putting a bit more weight on the front of your jump foot," I said, watching her struggle to get airborne. She nodded and tried another jump. "Wow, that was a good one." "Thanks," Josie said. "I've got a good teacher." "Incoming!" We turned just in time to see Chef Claire barreling toward us. This winter was her first time on skates, and while she'd quickly learned the skating process and how to move forward, Chef Claire was still working on how to stop. She slammed into us, and we all collapsed in a heap on the thick ice. "Sorry about that," Chef Claire said, climbing to her feet. "Are you guys okay?" "Define okay," Josie said, groaning as she got up. "You need to work on learning how to put the brakes on." "Yeah, I know," Chef Claire said, laughing. "But it's so much fun going fast on these things." For somebody who wasn't sure if she would be able to handle the winters, you sure seem to be okay with it, I said. "Are you kidding? I love all of it," Chef Claire said, her eyes dancing and her cheeks flushed ruby red. "I just came over to tell you that lunch is ready." "Great," Josie said. "What are we having?" "Well, I thought I'd stay with hot dishes since we're out here." "Good call," Josie said, nodding her head vigorously. "I'm starving," I said. That's a major understatement. Since New Year's, I'd been working on a resolution to drop the 7 pounds I'd gained since last summer. By the time Valentine's Day had rolled around, I'd made it. But it hadn't been easy saying no to a lot of Chef Claire's food. And Valentine's Day itself had caused a temporary setback when Josie and me, once again dateless, had chosen to buy 2 of the biggest boxes of chocolate we could find. We'd spent the evening in front of the fire in our pajamas, willing to watch anything except romantic movies, sipping champagne, and working our way through an assortment of chocolates filled with cream, nougats, nuts, caramel, and other assorted surprises. But I'd shaken off that setback and refocused my efforts. Now I was down a total of 10 pounds and ready to eat. "So what's on the menu?" I said, trying to sound casual. "Beef bourguignon, chicken vindaloo, and that tomato basil soup you both like so much," Chef Claire said. "Okay, you got me," I said, skating toward the back of my SUV. "What do you say, Josie?" "Oh no, not the briar patch." Chef Claire opened the back